In the headlines, fuel pump price jumps to 617 naira per litre, triggering the return of fuel queues across Abuja. Appeal Court upholds Federal High Court judgment on road safety operations. Court fixes July 21st for arraignment of Senator Stella Odua over 5 billion naira fraud. And on the foreign scene, Chad junta leader pardons 110 people held over October protest. Hello there, good afternoon and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. Now, the National Petroleum Corporation Limited has increased the petrol price to 617 naira per litre across the country. A visit to an NNPC filling station in the central area of Abuja by our correspondent confirms that the fuel price has now been adjusted from 539 naira per litre to 617 naira per litre. The immediate reason for the price hike could not be ascertained, but it is not unconnected to the recent projections by oil marketers that fuel price will hit 700 naira per litre soon. The Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Agency is yet to comment on with regards to inquiry as at the time of filing this report. Now, in the same vein, motorists are deserting the premises of the Kano NNPC mega station at Hotoro area of Taroni local government area of the state, discovering that the price has been adjusted to well over 620 naira per litre. The price of PMS in the station was hiked to 620 naira per litre from 540 naira per litre. Private vehicle owner Shamsuddin Muhammad says he left the station without buying the product at the NNPCL station, saying he now prefers to buy from independent marketers who are yet to adjust their price for the commodity as at the time of filing this report. Now, Trust TV's bureau chief in Kano, Clement Oye Oloyede, via phone gives us a situation report.
The situation in Kano as of this afternoon is that fuel queues have returned to filling stations that are still selling at the old price of between 540 and 550. Since early in the morning when NNPC adjusted the price, motorists have sort of abandoned NNPC stations, and since they said they are not ready to start buying at the new price, especially as some of the filling stations, some of the major marketers are still selling at the old price of between 540 and 550. So motorists have now taken turns at these filling stations. And another thing that was observed is that some of the stations that Itato were selling for have shut down their stations. Those that have not adjusted the price and are not selling, but they are not selling, but they've shut down the station, apparently expecting the new price to permeate, and they will adjust their tank at the moment. But even the independent marketers are still selling at 540 to 550. One of the managers of one of those major stations told me earlier today that they are only awaiting instruction from their headquarters, and as soon as they get this instruction, they will also adjust their price. So any moment from now, we're expecting that more of these filling stations will also adjust the price. So that's the situation in Kano. People are actually lamenting. So far, it has not really much affected the cost of transportation, because some of these tricycle are still able to get the fuel at 540 to 550. But we expect that anything from later this evening, cost of transportation will also go up again. People are finding it difficult to adjust even to the previous 540 naira. But so now, with this new adjustment, it's going to be a whole lot of difficulty for people.
In a related development, the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority says oil marketers have commenced the importation of petroleum motor spirit, popularly known as PMS. Now, this comes 7 full weeks after President Bola Tinubu's May 29th inaugural address, during which he declared that fuel subsidy is gone. The Chief Executive Officer of the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA, Farouk Ahmed, made the revelation during a stakeholders engagement in Lagos. Ahmed listed 3 companies currently importing the product into the country, to include AYA Shafa, Prudent Energy and Emadeb, adding that others would import between August and September this year. The Court of Appeal sitting in Asaba Delta State has upheld the judgment of a federal high court in Warri that the Federal Road Safety Commission can only operate on federal roads. The judgment was delivered filed by the Federal Road Safety Court challenging a judgment of Justice E. Nwite. The Federal High Court had in January of 2019 entered judgment in favor of plaintiff Darlington Ugo Ihikem, who is a member of the NBA in Warri, and granted all the reliefs sought, which includes a declaration that the Federal Road Safety Commission has no right to operate or carry any activity on state and local roads. The trial court also issued restraining orders against the commission from operating on roads and other federal highways, and also awarded a cost of 10 million naira against the Federal Road Safety Commission. Plaintiff's lawyer Kunle Edun commended the appellate court for standing by the proper interpretation of the law, saying by this law, FRSC personnel cannot operate on roads inside cities and towns except on federal highways. Now, the Federal High Court Abuja on Tuesday affirmed Ahmed Ododo as the lawful candidate of the All Progressive Congress APC in Kogi State, having validly resigned his appointment from the Kogi State Civil Service before contesting the gubernatorial primary election in the state. Justice Obiora Iguatu affirmed Ododo as the APC candidate while delivering judgment in a suit filed by Abubakar Achimugu, also of the APC, challenging the candidature of Ododo. Achimugu anchored his suit on the grounds that Ododo and his running mate, as at the time they contested the primary elections ahead of the gubernatorial election in November this year, were still public servants in the state civil service. In the judgment, Justice Iguatu held that contrary to the claim of Achimugu, evidence showed that Ododo resigned his appointment more than 30 days before participating in the APC gubernatorial primary election. Now, the judge says the exhibits tendered by the defendants show that while Ododo's resignation letter was received by the office of the Kogi governor on March 8th, that of the third defendant, Salami Didat, was received on March 9th. Earlier, the court dismissed the preliminary objection of the defendants, claiming that the suit was statute barred, having not filed it within 14 days as required by the law. In other legal matters, Justice Iyang Ekwo of the Federal High Court Abuja has fixed July 21st for the arraignment of a former Minister of Aviation, Stella Odua. Stella Odua is to stand trial alongside 8 others on a 25-count charge bordering on alleged conspiracy, money laundering, and maintaining anonymous bank accounts. At the last hearing, Justice Ekwo had ordered the EFCC to arrest some persons over a threat to his life. He said the individuals had sent text messages to his phone advising him against the trial of the defendants. At the resumed hearing, counsel to EFCC Hassan Liman told the court that the commission had carried out an investigation and was able to trace the identity of the culprit. The lawyer identified the culprit as Okolo Obinna Johnson, a promoter of 2 companies in the suit. He said the effort was made through the search and linked bank verification number of the alleged person via the telephone number submitted, adding that the Corporate Affairs Commission cooperated with the anti-graft agency. The judge subsequently adjourned the case to July 21st for the commencement of a trial, adding that any defendant who is absent from the court on that day would be committed to prison. Now, millions of people learn to communicate in foreign languages for various reasons. For some, it is for leisure and tourism. Well, some Nigerians are learning Dutch as part of skill acquisition in search of job opportunities. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail met with some Nigerian nurses who are becoming enthusiastic about learning the German language in the hopes of one day working in Europe. His report.
I say Mustafa Abdullah. Woher kommen Sie? Ich komme aus Nigeria, aus Bundalas Sokoto.
Abdullahi Mustafa is a Nigerian nurse with 13 years work experience in Sokoto State. In his quest to have improved work experience and better opportunities, Mustafa is learning German language.
Not Ishnen, nein. I come this Abuja purposely to learn a German course because firstly I want to increase my knowledge of various languages across the world. Then number two, I want to get a job. I'm seeking job for German, Deutschland or Germany. So that's why I'm here to learn the German language.
For Abubakar Umar, who is worried by the poor infrastructure and lack of modern equipment in Nigeria's health sector, learning German language is beyond looking for job opportunities.
Our profession, we have a lot of skills, but we don't know how to even dispatch them because of those lack of these opportunities. That is why I prefer to go to Germany, at least to know a lot of my profession, to know a lot about my professions.
Some language coaches who speak to Trust TV believe that learning foreign language will help people widen their networks and interact socially with diverse people across the globe.
It's very important. Now, today they can start a conversation in German. It's very important to thank to this project that Mr. Usman has initiated.
When you come to Germany, you need a basic language how to communicate. So we were contacted to give them this basic German language so that by the time they come to Germany, they already know the basic how to communicate. Especially people who are going to work in the health sector, they need to communicate with communities.
There are millions of Nigerians who live abroad, and a lot of them speak various foreign languages as means of getting better job opportunities outside the shores of this country. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News.
You're watching Trust News Update on Trust TV. Still to come. We take a look at an African snack business and its health benefits. Details coming up ahead after the break. Welcome back to the news update on Trust TV. Here's a quick recap of our top stories at this hour. Fuel pump price jumps to over 617 naira per litre as fuel queues resurface in Abuja. Court confirms Ododo's candidature for Kogi APC governorship election as the road safety gets a stay of execution of state and local government roads. Now, the rising cost of maize, a major staple in Nigeria in the last few weeks, have subjected many Nigerians to untold hardship. The price of maize in Katsina State has hit 43,000 naira per 100 kilogram bag, while the price of other products like millet and corn remain unchanged. From Katsina, Abdullahi Amadi reports.
Stakeholders suggest that massive intervention in wet season maize farming could crash the current soaring price of maize in the coming weeks. Maize Farmers Association sourced for subsidized fertilizers, herbicides, pesticides and other farm inputs to support its members to plant more maize to attain food security. Farmers associations from the 34 local government areas of Katsina State were given seeds of improved variety.
To make our contribution for building a robust economy and as outlined in the Policy Advisory Council report of this administration, eradication of youth restiveness, which includes the ugly trend of kidnapping for ransom, banditry and other social vices affecting the country.
Members of the association urged governments to address influx of adulterated farm inputs to rescue Nigerians from hunger. Katsina State government, on its part, promised to prioritize agricultural sector to provide job opportunities through what it described as all-year-round mechanized farming.
When we want to address the issue of agriculture, you have to look at the entire value chain. And I want to sincerely acknowledge the fact that what MAN is doing today is in line with our agenda of transforming agriculture with its value chain. And therefore, my appeal to those who will be beneficiaries of this program to utilize the opportunity given to them.
Many experts said that a holistic approach by all governments and other stakeholders is needed to revolutionize agriculture. This should go side by side with ensuring maximum security of lives and property of farming communities who are the major producers of food and cash crops in Nigeria. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Now, kuli kuli is a popular African snack prepared by Nupe-speaking people of Niger State using groundnut. The snack is being consumed among various classes of citizens, even outside the country. In this report, Trust TV's correspondent in Niger State, Abubakar Akote, examines how people consume kuli kuli, looking at its nutritional values and lots more.
Kuli kuli, commonly referred to as African biscuit among the natives of Nupe dialect, is made from groundnut. The snack is said to have originated from Nupe people of Nigeria, but consumed across the country and other countries, including Ghana, Benin Republic, and Northern Cameroon. The snack could be taken with pap as breakfast or with tuwo, boiled cassava or yam, fresh cucumber and cabbage, zogale, gari, and even bread as lunch or dinner. Kuli kuli is also used in preparation of stick meat, popularly known as tire, while some use it to prepare spices.
Kuli kuli, in fact, if you don't even have kuli, you can't enjoy taking your pap. In Nupe land in those days, if you get, some people use only kuli alone to break their fast.
We Nupes, we are enjoying kunu and kuli kuli. It gives us power. Even if we are going farm, it will make us stronger.
Despite the wider acceptance, exportation is mostly done through friends, relations or consumers who live abroad or going for studies, as there was no formal channel for easy exportation.
We need government support in terms of funds to boost the business. We don't have a befitting place to carry out the business. Sometimes we even buy groundnuts on credit. Many customers come to buy kulikuli from me and take it to Lagos and even abroad. I have customers who come from Maiduguri to buy and resell. It was through kulikuli business that my grandmother, whom I grew up under, bought my wedding dress and other things. And now with kulikuli business, I am doing a lot for myself.
Well, the nutritional value of kulikuli is nutritious and it contains some vitamins. You understand me? Because number one, it's made of plant protein. It's a plant protein, not animal protein, and it's good. But in some certain disease condition, we don't ask people to take kulikuli. Yes, because of the fat, and then because already it has gone into a lot of process before preparing, and then it is not good for some certain condition, disease condition. Some disease conditions, like some diabetes patients, it depends on their sugar level. We are not saying they should consume. Like people with liver, these chronic diseases, there are some things they are not supposed to consume.
Government agencies need to do more for the producers to get much out of the business. Abubakar Akote, Trust TV News, Mina.
Now, the rising obsession with modifying natural physical features predominantly among young females is leading to a significant boost in the cosmetic surgery industry in the country. Now, although there are regulations to guide the practice, there are safety concerns about long-term effects and implications. Here's Aisha Salihu with more on the story.
Cosmetic surgery is becoming a fast-rising favorite among women as the world changes its perception on how the perfect body type should be. Women are expressing increasing preference for bigger endearments, leading to a surge in seeking wider hips, bigger bottoms, contoured breasts, among others. Research has shown that people feel more confident after engaging in such procedures.
Major peer influencers have undergone some form of body adjustment procedures. It kind of encourages that, and it kind of reassures people that it is fairly safe because this person has done it and this person looks better.
People are coming from different backgrounds, so and many women want to fit into the society. So it's about how you were brought up.
They feel less about their body, so to impress their husband and their other female friends, they want to do it. I don't know. So if you feel comfortable, that was.
Experts, however, believe there is need to strengthen capacity of regulatory authorities to enforce safety standards. This is because even though surgeries have become safer due to advancement in technology, procedures are still not risk-free and devoid of complications.
Regulation will involve money, will involve officers, will involve logistics to deploy, and will involve external quality assurance to set standards and make sure that the standards are met. In situations where you are doing implants, certain implants have been outlawed recently because of their risk of leakage and the toxicity of what this leakage would portend to the person involved. You have complications that may happen with things like liposuction, and in very inexperienced hands, more likely than more experienced hands. So the better trained the person, the more experienced the person, the more procedures the person would have done, the lower the risk.
They just want to do, and many of them are doing it and dying, and people are still doing it.
No, it's not a safe procedure. Even though the best doctors or the best operators for this, they are able to say that's scarce in Nigeria here. So people that want to get money will now use that opportunity to get money and still harm people that are ignorant of the disadvantages of it.
Against the rising wave of complications during or after body enhancement procedures, there have been appeals to women to be less eager to go under the knife. In fact, they are being urged to boost their confidence by loving their bodies irrespective of societal pressure. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, on the international scene, Chadian leader General Mohamed Idriss Déby has pardoned 110 more people sentenced to jail terms following deadly protests against the regime last October. Demonstrations against the extension of Déby's transitional rule broke out last October in the capital N'Djamena and several other towns. Déby was proclaimed head of state by the army in April of 2021 after the death of his father, Idriss Déby, who was killed during anti-rebel operations after ruling the country for 30 years. More than 600 young men, including at least 80 minors, were arrested in N'Djamena on October 20th and in following days and then sent to a prison in the desert town of Korotoro, more than 600 kilometers away from the city capital. After months of detention, they were tried without legal representation. Now, more than half were sentenced to prison terms, while the others were given suspended sentences or released. Local and international riot groups claim that dozens of even hundreds of people were tortured or executed on the way to Korotoro, a claim denied by the government. A total of 436 people convicted of taking part in last October's protest have now been pardoned by Chadian authorities in less than 4 months. At the end of March, 259 demonstrators sentenced to prison terms were pardoned under a similar decree, followed by a second wave of 67 people in May. Well, that's it. You're up to date with the latest news stories at this hour. Thank you most kindly for joining us. Feel free to follow us across our social media platforms for more content. My name is Abdullah Ahmed. Thank you for your time.